Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a eyeshadow tutorial as well as swatches and a really quick review on the new Urban Decay Naked Heat Palette. So I'm just going to do a really quick review because I don't want this video to be super duper long, and I'm going to show you swatches of the palette as well as an eyeshadow tutorial on this look. So if you guys are interested in seeing my thoughts on the new Urban Decay Naked Heat Palette, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so today we're going to be reviewing the new Urban Decay Naked Smoky Palette. Now Urban Decay released this palette early, I think on the 9th, and I picked it up then and I got it in the mail on Wednesday, which was June the 14th, which is pretty much today. So yeah, I just wanted to really give you a quick overview of the palette, just show you how the palette looked and show you some comparisons of the palette because, I mean, even though this is a really nice palette and this is 12 all new shades, you really don't have to pick up this palette. I mean, because 9 times out of 10, you have these shades in your collection already. I mean, I'm just being honest. The palette is really nice. It's really nice quality, but these are probably shades that you have in your collection already. So this is just how the front of the packaging looks. It's really nice. And on the back, it just has all the ingredients, this little message from Urban Decay. And then it comes in this little sleeve, so you slide the palette out. And this is just how the packaging looks. The packaging is gorgeous. And then it comes out of this little box, and this is the packaging. It's really sturdy, really nice packaging. It's Urban Decay. They always have really nice packaging. So when you open up the palette, of course, you get a really nice size mirror in there. You get a brush, as you do with all of your Urban Decay Naked palettes. And then this is just how the palette looks. So like I said, you just have a lot of burnt oranges, warm browns, siennas, you know, you have these creams at the end right here. But all in all, this is a gorgeous palette. If you love warm tones, then you will absolutely love this palette. So I just really wanted to quickly show you some things that I have in my collection that, you know, I could probably create the same look with, because honestly, this palette, you're really going to be limited to the looks you can create with this palette because, I mean, it's pretty much straightforward. So it's really not a lot. Like, you can't get a whole lot of looks out of this palette. If you mix it with other palettes, then, you know, you probably could. But yeah, all in all, as you can see, when you see the tutorials, you see everybody pretty much creating kind of like the same look, because this palette is really not that versatile as far as creating a whole lot of different looks. To me, it's not. So I'm going to really quickly show you some palettes in my collection. I know that everybody's going to want me to compare this palette to the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. So that is the first palette that I'm going to be comparing it to. So this is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. And this is the Urban Decay Naked palette. So they don't really look the same to me, but you do have some of the same colors, and I kind of feel like you can create some of the same looks with this palette. This palette just doesn't have all the reds in it that this palette has. So that is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. And then I wanted to show it to you in comparison to my Violet Voss Holy Grail palette. So this is the Violet Voss Holy Grail palette, and this is the Urban Decay Naked palette. So again, you know, you can create some of the same looks with this palette that you can with the Urban Decay Naked palette. And then the last palette that I saw a lot of dupes in was the Morphe 35F palette. So this is the Morphe 35F palette. And I just chose this palette because you do have like a lot of siennas and warm browns in this palette, and you have a couple of oranges. And this is the Urban Decay Naked Smoky palette. I'm sorry, the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. So these are these two palettes. So these are just the 3 palettes that I just thought of right off the top of my head that you can kind of create the same look with this palette. But again, if you are a diehard Urban Decay fan, then I would suggest picking up this palette. You know, if you are a makeup collector or if you just collect all of the Naked palettes, then this is a really nice palette to have in your collection because the palette is really nice quality. It's just a palette that's easily dupable. So do you have to run out and spend your $54 on this palette right now? I honestly don't think so. Like I said, just checking your collection to see, you probably have all these shades in your collection. I mean, they may not all be in the same palette, but I'm sure you have all these shades in your collection already. So this is just how the palette looks. And this palette comes with 12 12 new shades, and it comes with 7 mattes and 5 shimmers. So yeah, they are some beautiful colors, and the pigmentation as far as using them is really nice. I'm going to show you swatches of the entire palette so that you can kind of make up your mind, and I'm going to show you how they look on deeper skin tones, and yeah, just things like that. So if you guys are interested in seeing swatches on this palette as well as an eyeshadow tutorial on this look, then keep on watching. Alright guys, so here's just a quick overview of the front of the packaging, and now I'm going to open the palette, and these colors are gorgeous. If you love a neutral palette, then this is definitely the palette for you. I feel like this is a really nice palette, and all skin tones can get away with this palette. Alright, now we're going to get on to the swatches. The first shade is Ounce. Chaser. Sauce, Low Blow, and this one is like my exact skin tone, so you can't really see it that well. Next up we have Lumber, He Devil, Dirty Talk, Scorched, Cayenne, Infergo, Ashes, and Ember. So this is just how the palette looks. These are some gorgeous colors. Others swatch a lot better than the others. Like I have like 2 mattes that really didn't show up, but I kind of felt like for the most part the entire palette swatched really nicely, and I feel like they apply to the eyes really smoothly. Alright, again, and this is just a quick overview of the palette. And now we're going to get into the eyeshadow tutorial. So I'm going to start off by priming my eyes with my Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Caffeine. And then I'm going to be using my Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in the shade Medium Dark. I'm going to use this to set that primer in place. Alright, now moving into the palette. For my first transition color, I'm going to be going into the shade Low Blow. And like I said, these shades do blend really nicely. Some of them have fallout, but that really doesn't bother me if the pigmentation is nice. Alright, next up I think I'm going to the shade Cayenne, and I'm going to place this right on top of Low Blow. Alright, next up I think I'm picking up the shade He Devil. I'm going to place that directly in the crease as well. I'm just layering all of these colors. Alright, and now I'm going to go in with Ashes, and I'm going to use this to smoke out the outer V. Alright, now I'm going to go in with the shade Infuego, and I'm going to place this all over my lid. Alright, now I'm going to go directly on top of that with Dirty Talk. And I'm just going to place that in the middle. Alright, and on that same brush, I'm going to go into the shade Lumber, and I'm going to place that on the inner portion of the eye. Alright, next up, going into the shade Ember, I'm going to use this to transition my lid color and my outer V color so that everything can blend seamlessly. And then I'm going to go on my brow bone with the shade Ounce. Alright guys, so now I've finished up my face off camera, and I'm just going to be adding my Rimmel London Scandalized Eye Kohl Pencil in black in my waterline. And then I'm pretty much going to repeat the same steps on the bottom that I did in the crease. Alright, that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me. And don't forget that when my channel reaches 5,000 subscribers, I will be having my next big giveaway. Until the next video.